You ready to have some fun, yo?
I am.
This new way of connecting, this social distancing stuff that's happening right now, Miley, is a bit different, but nonetheless, we still get to stay connected. So welcome. Hi, how you been, yo?
How amazing that we're getting to live in this time where like we've almost been able to connect deeper this way. You know,
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have had such self-reflective periods, and really this song is such a kind of mirror of that also. It's kind of, I think all of us are taking control of our narrative and kind of looking at it and saying, what can I accept? What can I not? And what action am I going to take to live the life that I want to be? And so I think, again, it's hard to see sometimes the blessings in disguise, but I feel like it definitely has.
With this, you tapped on it. You said Midnight Sky. It's kind of that song. It's allowing us to really kind of take our own destiny into our own hands. And it's really a time where we have seen a lot of people step up and really deliver and believe their inner self way more than ever. So for you to go there with this record, how refreshing is it? You know, what's it feel like to you? I mean, how confident, because every damn lyric, it sounds like you're hella confident, yo.
That's what's, there's so many things I want to say now to that question, because it actually taps on so many different parts of this record. But one, I would say something that I haven't actually done in my career and that I'm doing now, which I love, is taking advantage of the way that that we can deliver music to our audience and to our fans. Because, you know, I started making records when I would go and sign physical copies. I tell my little sister about it and she thinks I'm making it up.
She's like, what do you mean?
What? So now the fact that I can write a song, I only wrote the song like 4 to 6 weeks ago, and now put it out in saying, I'm talking to you in real time. I'm telling my real story. Not something that I felt a year ago and I've outgrown, because also you're less passionate about it. You know, I'm so passionate about it because of how relevant it is to me, and especially for me, who grows and evolves so quickly, that usually when I'm like out here talking about a record, I'm like, I felt
it happened to me 9 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is just such an amazing time that we live in, where we can really talk directly to our audience. And then the other thing that I was going to say to your point is, I'm not sure that all of us have been taking, over the last few months, the Midnight Sky, head high up in the clouds. We've actually not had our head up in the clouds. We have been like demanding the action that we want to see. And, you know, so for me, I think that this is kind of like this fantasy world that I've created, that I think it is an amazing kind of idea that we can create these safe spaces for ourselves. And right now, I mean, how lucky are you and I? We're coming from a place where we've got this security, we've got a house that we can quarantine safely in, and everyone is so fortunate. And so I think that this is a time that, you know, this is an amazing song to scream at the top of your lungs and dance to, but don't live with your head high up in the clouds. That's for things like, you know, even from when I'm referencing living my head high up in the clouds, it's almost like I've kind of, at times when I've been going through some hardships, like, you know, big breakups, losing my house in the fire, I kind of created these little environments. I'm actually, if you could see where I really am, I'm in the weirdest back room in my house. I'm like kind of in like the weirdest room ever. I actually, when I was a little kid, my mom had this closet in the back. She had this little shoe closet, and without telling her, I made it my reading room. And so I put a little pillow, and I put a little tree and a little lamp, and I would crawl up and like in the very back of my mom's closet under all her dresses.
It was your space. It was your place to go, to reflect, to express yourself, to be you.
That was my first like sense of pride of, this is mine. And meanwhile, then my mom's like, why are you living in the, like, what?
Why are you in the closet?
I would definitely go and like hide in the back of the closet to read, and made myself safe space. And I feel like that's been really important during this quarantine period, to be able, no matter where it is, even if it's inside of your head high up in the cloud, find that place. And that can be inside of our minds and using our imagination. Or let's talk about
let's talk about the space. Let's talk about the meaning behind the disco balls, the animals that are in the video, what the imagery really means and represents, because you had every bit of your heart involved in every bit of this visual as well. How special was that for you?
So this is one of the proudest moments I've had in a really long time, when it comes up and says self-directed. Because I've always been kind of behind the creative, obviously half the time no one could come up with these things that I end up doing in my videos. Like, I want someone to be eating a money sandwich and we can't stop. I want them to be, cutting their fingers and goo coming out. So a lot of this is always coming from me, but being able to polish my craft as a filmmaker over this quarantine period, I've been researching and learning from doing a lot of sessions like this with camera operators and directors of photography and photographers. And really, I've always wanted to kind of write and produce and direct a film at some point. So this was a good exercise to see how far off that goal would actually be from me. And actually, it felt like, I jumped into the deepest waters. Like, the best way to kind of learn how to swim is
to just go learn by doing.
I did, and I swam, didn't sink. So I'm really feeling lucky for that. And the disco ball, what it really reflects literally is this idea that a bunch of broken pieces can come together to make an entire being that then when the light is shined upon this brokenness, people are really mesmerized and in awe and we're drawn to each other's brokenness because we all connect through the brokenness. And I'm definitely a believer in everyone's suffering is different and unique. And I think that if we can kind of accept that about each other and go, I don't know exactly what you're going through, and I don't know exactly what you've been through, but if we can go, we've both experienced something that freaking hurt. And now we come together and be compassionate towards each other in that. I think that's what this disco ball really represents. And that's why there's so many of them, because there's not just one disco ball. I love the idea that it's all of us together.
Yo, you've been such an advocate of bringing people together through your music. And that's one thing that has been so special to watch your evolution, to watch how you challenge yourself to go places that, you experiment. You've done so much of that. And I want to ask this question because I feel it's a really important one is, have you been able to sit back and really take it upon yourself to see that you've been able to do such a bigger, it's a higher being type of a body of work, your discography, your career? Like, have you taken the time to really be within yourself to say, you know what, I'm proud of myself for these things that I've been willing to do, not only for those that connect, but for myself to be that person?
That's what the one scene in the music video where I'm in the mirror cube, that's what that represents, this time of self-reflection. And that's why I wanted the whole video also for me to be alone, because this has been a time a lot of us have been alone, and we haven't been in this kind of self-reflective mirror box in a way, all of us. And so I've come to the realization that I'm allowed to really love things about myself. And I think sometimes that's branded as you're conceited or it's not about I love that I can sing well. I love that I love how freaking loyal I am, even though it gets me in trouble sometimes. And so I've been writing down these qualities about myself that have nothing to do with fame or fortune, but have to do with me and my integrity as a person, and my character, and protecting it at all costs has become extremely a crucial part of my existence as a human being, period. And so I think that that's been one of the most helpful tools to sit here to you and be that disco ball, to have all that brokenness and have it all put back together again. I put it back together by writing down the things about myself that I love and writing the things about myself that I don't dig. And one of those I put it in the song, can't bite the devil on my tongue. I don't like that about myself. I don't like that sometimes my tongue is
it's who you are,
driven by the devil and says things that I don't mean to hurt people. So that's something I've been working on, is watching what I say and knowing that the words have really deep meaning, and to really be protective of what I speak sometimes, and usually does kind of happen. We speak things into existence. I wrote Nothing Breaks Like a Heart, this burning house, there's nothing left, before my house burned down. Then it happened.
Then it happened.
It happened a month later. It was crazy. So now I'm thinking, hey, if I can do that, if I can speak these kinds of things into existence, let's speak in the greater idea of what I want to see for myself and for others. And so it's just been a really self-reflective time, which is what that represents.
It's so cool to see that that's where your heart is. And before I get you out of here, let's talk a little bit about what's happening September 18th and 19th. You're a part again of our iHeartRadio Music Festival. And the fact of the matter is, you are, if you haven't really been able to put this into your heart and soul, you're an icon in the game. And to have someone like you stand up and use your voice like you did in 2017, to take this platform like you're going to here in a couple of short weeks, takes to bring to life your vision through your music, through your energy, through your spirit. What does it mean to you to be looked upon as one of those young women who the world really goes to for just an awesome amount of energy? I mean, that's just, you're it. That's why you're a part of it again.
You know, I sing about it and love the heart a lot. And I wear kind of my heart everywhere, like right on my outside. Yeah. And again, that gets me hurt sometimes because I'm just so vulnerable and like so exposed in that way. But actually the set that I've kind of curated is actually kind of built on home is where the heart is. And so many of us have known that. And I think that a big part of my, you know, kind of existence is fighting for homelessness, especially there's so much homelessness in where I live in Los Angeles.
Yes, in Los Angeles, yeah.
Like how we know why it's so important that we protect the homeless and why we fight for these injustices. And so I've really been curating my set kind of based on the heart. So I was gonna do Blondie's Heart of Glass, which like don't we all kind of feel now like our heart is made of glass? Like it just feels like every day it's just shattering a little bit more, and there's just so much heartbreak. But like it's just I definitely try to use any kind of platform I have to listen. Heart of Glass is a great song, but like how relevant is it today now? So I try to just
so poignant
that sound fun and that are things that people can love. And if you want to turn your brain off and not think about the kind of political perspective I'm taking on the song, just enjoy a great classic like Debbie Harry, one of the greatest.
Yeah.
If you want to look into it, there's always going to be that too. Because I've tried to find the balance of the kind of the activist and the artist, and I've tried to have them marry each other in an entertaining way.
Dude, you've done it so well. And it's like, it's so rad to be able to have these conversations time and time again. And for me as an interviewer to now call you a friend and to see that you're knocking these goals upside the head every single time. You know what I mean? When I heard this record, when I first heard it, it's giving me these retro vibes, but then there's like this, you know, like this little, like a Stevie Nicks, like Edge of 17 in there too. You know what I mean? It's like you're doing so much that is just making me so proud to be able to say I'm thankful that we have people like you using their voice for something greater than us all.
In the flesh sometime soon. I'm definitely missing years and playing music for people and like seeing your reaction for real. You know, the first time you hear it, that bums me out that it's all been through that you didn't.
I know.
Dang.
We're going to get there. 2021 is going to be I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. 2021 is going to be a fucking awesome year, dude.
I believe it. I mean, I think that's kind of, there's no way else to go, hopefully. So that sounds really good. And just miss playing my music in person for people. So I look forward to when I can, you know, be back on the road, be back at iHeart festivals, right in there with my fans and not my fans. They're fun to perform for too.
That's right. Hey girl, you send my love to the family. Tell everybody I said what's up. And I just got to say thank you again for bringing us another slapper and letting us play this record over and over again on all of our stations. Thank you so much, Miley. Take care. Peace out, yo.